Hey gang, this is Coach Bill. Glad you're here. We're going to get underway this week. We're going to start a little bit this week on pitching. Last week we did a little bit more on hitting. But today, given the situation that we're in, I wanted to start a little bit further down the line than what we normally would, where I normally would begin. So I have a number of individuals who have been going at it pretty well for a while. And so today I just want to start a step ahead. Later this week we'll come back to the beginning. But for today, I want to start talking about the cutter, and then tomorrow we'll talk a little bit about the sinker, and we'll go from there, okay? And then we'll get back to the beginning. But I have some guys that I want to get them started so they can start working on some things at home as well. Okay, so if a cutter is in your idea, if a cutter is there for you, and the understanding of how to work the cutter and such, if that's something that you're interested in, well, you're in the right place. Okay, so that cutter comes out of that fastball family, and it's a pitch designed to sell fastball until the very end. Okay, when we get an individual to want to begin his swing, and that ball's just going to slide ever so little. Okay, so can we get a swing and a miss? Yes, its design is to get it off the end of the bat a little bit, maybe get rolled over a little bit. Okay, so that's its intent. The actual throwing of that pitch, and let's start with grips, and I'm going to borrow a little bit here from a couple of instructors along the way. However you want to grip the ball, it's your grip. Okay, I'm a firm believer that grips don't really make the ball one way or the other. Okay, it has to be your grip, what you're comfortable with. Okay, that's first things first. Okay, so depending on how you like to hold the ball, might play into how you want to grip the ball. So it's really not grip per se that's going to work it. Any ball is always going to come off that index finger. Okay, so it doesn't matter. It's the longest finger on the ball. So if that index finger's on the ball, it's going to come off that finger. And it doesn't matter which way you throw it. If it's curveball coming off, it's there. If it's slider, it's there. So it's always going to be that index finger. Okay? Now, having said that, and I'll grip out as a two-seam because it might be a little bit easier for you to understand this. What I want to do is I want to take that ball and I want to split that ball in half. Okay? I want to split the ball in half, and I'm going to grip the outer third. Okay? So when I grip that outer third, let me see it here, I'm going to make sure that my index finger and my thumb are aligned with each other. Okay? And when my arm gets to extension, I'm going to promote the outer half of the ball. I'm going to cut the ball in half, and when I throw it, I'm going to promote the outer half of the ball. So I won't be directly behind it. So if we can take a look at it this way, you can see I'm not going to be directly behind the ball, so that when I release it, I'm going to release it here. It's going to come this way. It's going to spin off and go that way. That's our cutter, okay? So I want to promote the outer third of the ball. I'm going to line up my middle finger and my thumb. I'm going to throw through the ball, all right? I will throw through the ball. I'm not going to try to come around it, right? I'm not going to try to get outside of it. I'm going to throw right through it, and I'm going to promote the outer half. Promote the outer half of the ball. Our action's going to be this way. So if we can, when we look at this, so what happens when we get on this, if this is the ball, and I borrowed this directly from Paul, if this is the ball, I'm going to cut that ball in half, okay? Those are my seams. Almost looks like a basketball. But I'm going to cut that ball in half, okay? And that index finger is going to come across the ball right here. The index finger comes off the ball right here, okay? So as I pull down on it, as I promote that ball, it's going to come off, okay? Now, look, it's going to take you like 15 minutes to get this figured out. That's about it. It's going to take you a lifetime to master it, but I think we can get to this in about 15 minutes. Probably what I would suggest is just go get a notebook, number it down, 1 to 100, whatever, okay? We're going to go in the basement, in the garage, outside, wherever we can get to, okay, at this moment in time, okay? If you don't have a backstop to throw into, get an old blanket, get a tarp, get a piece of plastic and just put it up that you can throw into, okay? Let it be loose so it soaks it up, okay? An old curtain would do great, okay? An old bed sheet would do great, okay? Let it hang a little bit loose so you wouldn't throw through it if it's plastic or a tarp or such. But what you want to do now is at about 70%, 60%, no more than that, right? You're just going to let it feel. You're just going to throw for the feel just to see if you can get it to move, okay? Take your time with it. Don't rush it. You're going to have to play with it, okay? If you want to talk like finger pressures or such, again, that ball is always going to come off the longest finger on the ball. Well, in most cases, it's the index finger. It's the middle finger. All right? It's typically the longest finger on the ball. All right? That's where it's going to come off of. So if you're going to play with finger pressure, it doesn't really matter if you were to use finger pressure on the index, because as the ball comes off, I got to get rid of my glove. As the ball comes off, right there's what it's on. Okay? It's going to start to roll off, and it's right there. There's no more pressure on the ball. It equalized as soon as it came off. Okay? So if you're going to put pressure anywhere, put it on the middle finger, and you can work with that. Outer third, you grip the outer third, but you're going to throw the outer half. Okay? Grip the outer third, throw the outer half. Throw through the ball, not around it. Okay? I think you're going to get some action on it. All righty?